another week of preseason has embarked upon the lads, and they got done with the first main training session of the week on Tuesday morning. And it was a real opportunity to increase their conditioning and sharpen their tools. Lots to come out to actually talk about from that session. But firstly, just take a moment to appreciate this new backdrop for the YouTube studio. I thank my godmother for making it. If you want to follow her on Instagram, I'll share her account in on top of the screen here. But I'm stoked with the outcome of this, and I couldn't have expected or hoped for a better outcome. I'm in love with it. It truly is amazing. So yeah, give her a follow if you want more of that type of content. But just on some jersey numbers, we got Harvey Harrison, who will likely be sticking with 36, Phil Parker 15, Perryman 12. We got Harvey Harrison on his first proper run since his ACL, which is, well, we're in November. He probably would have done it in August. It's a very quick turnaround, isn't it? And it's really positive to see that Harvey Harrison is coming back around so quickly. Usually when you're younger, it does take a bit longer for your ACL to heal and mature. So when it first happened, I thought, okay, he's probably going to have to miss the full allotment of 12 months, unlike what Mick Stay did, came back in, what was it, 10 months. So it's a really positive sign from that aspect, but at the same time, I'm mindful of I would err on the side of caution just because he's so young, and I'd like for him to get his rehab right and strengthen it as much as he can prior to actually getting back into the thick of it. Well, we'd love to see some vintage Harvey Harrison, and what does that look like across the course of last season? I mean, what he had a game where he kicked 2 goals in round 17. He kicked 3 goals from 3 shots in round 13 against Melbourne, and then also 13 touches and 3 shots, 3 goals against Fremantle. So a really efficient type of winger, does a lot of good work in the back line. So hopefully he can just keep continuing ticking these boxes off in rehab and just get your overall confidence back into your body. What else do we see? Bo's an absolute bull. If you can see the B-roll that I'm putting up here, this guy just can't be tackled and just drops anyone and everyone. It's kind of amusing to me. Ned Long, the same thing, just pile drives himself through players and opposition, and he's putting a really positive step forward early in the preseason, doing really well in a lot of the running contests along with some of the other youngsters and even some of the older players who are training. And you have to say, gone are the days where players who aren't required to be at training by a certain time frame, they're not waiting for that time anymore. They want to come in as early as possible. They're looking to get the competitive edge against their opposition anywhere they can. And this is just a perfect example. You got Darcy Moore getting to training, Scott Pendlebury, Steel Side Bottom, Pendlebury in season 20, like it's ridiculous. And then Myercheck, McStay, Membry, Houston, Perryman, all looking to start with a really good, impressionable pre-season. So really interesting to note that. And those youngsters, man, they've got some tanks in them. Like I said, we talked about Ned Long did really well in that 2 kilometre time trial. Continues to do well in that shuttle run conditioning drill they did, along with Lipinski, Quaynor, Jacob Ryan, who's really impressing as well. And just on Quaynor, I know it's one of those classic things. Even when somebody comes back after what how long was the preseason? 2 months of the off season. After 2 months of off season, the first thing you're looking for is to say, "Wow, that guy's put on a couple kilos," or you go, "Wow, that guy's really trimmed down." But it does kind of seem like someone like Isaac Quaynor has trimmed down, and was probably much needed. Just not that he ever looked slow last season. It was just more so, what can you do to add to your game? And if he's looking leaner and is shedding off a few more kilos, it'll probably help with his run and carry game, especially if he wants to play on the wing. And if he was able to play a couple games on the wing at his previous weight, then what he could do with his current weight is only going to help his game. And then Patrick Lipinski, always at the front when it comes to running, an absolute endurance machine. I will find for you the game where the amount of kilometres he accrued was astronomical, to the point where it was the sixth most kilometres run in a game. So I will share that stat on the screen somewhere. But what do we need from Patrick Lipinski going into the season? Played many positions, defense or not defense, sorry, half forward flank, wing, sporadically in the midfield as well, and we'll pop up old mate Patrick Lipinski. So what did he average in 24? 17.5 disposals. And what about centre bounce? Didn't play a lot in the midfield, had 5% midfield time versus 2022, 30% midfield time and 22 disposals, 25 coaches' votes, whereas this year, or 22 coaches' votes, whereas this year he collected 13, which was much more than last season where he had zilch and had that really good game against Port Adelaide. So starting positively in preseason is important, but I really liked Patrick Lipinski's first, let's say, 10 games or so. What did he collect? 12 the disposals, 17, 16, 13, 24, 19, 18, 21, and then 18 and 24. And then from there, he really died off. But that Melbourne game, he was another player that was really impressive. He had 30 disposals, which sometimes you don't notice those touches when he's on the wing. I think he must have moved to the wing in this game, because all the previous games against Brisbane, Sydney, Carlton, Richmond, he was on the high half forward flank. And against Richmond, 9 touches, Carlton 4 touches, Geelong 11, Essendon 11. Some of the games were in that period where Collingwood were really struggling. So I think there's still a bit more of untapped potential with Patrick Lipinski. It's just a matter of, can he maintain a level of consistency, and can he do it in an outside position like the forward flank, like the wing? It doesn't seem likely that he'll return to the midfield anytime soon. Is it something the coaches entertain in the preseason? Perhaps. But for now, he's going to have to do it a different way. And he does that with his running capacity, absolute engine. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm really excited to see. It's always an exciting time when you're starved of footy content, like actual games. It's an opportunity to really jump on the bandwagon of these players who might have a positional shift, or they're looking to go the extra gear. And I really do think we need 1 or 2 players to lift. And who's that going to be? Can we say one of them is going to be Ed Allen? Can we say that the next one's going to be Isaac Quaynor? Because it seemed like outside of Dacos, Pendlebury, Myercheck, Elliott, Bobby Hill, Jeremy Howe, Braden Maynard. Outside of that, there was no real consistent performance. Darcy Cameron, Mason Cox when he played, but outside of that, it was a real struggle. So that's what I'm hoping for from this preseason. Somebody gains enough confidence to be that consistent player on a week-to-week basis. So that's what I'm hoping for. But anyways, that's the quick little update, and then next main training session is Friday, so we'll come back to you guys and chat then. Go Pies.